time, an ever-present force that shapes the flow of our lives. We measure it in seconds, minutes, and hours, endlessly trying to control it, organize it, and understand it. But have you ever wondered, is time real, or is it just an illusion? Does time truly exist, or are we simply trapped in a construct of our own making? In this video, we're going to challenge your perception of time and explore a question that has mystified humanity for centuries. Is time something that governs us, or is it a figment of the mind? Time is woven into the very fabric of our lives, yet when we stop to question it, the nature of time becomes anything but clear. We live in a world where time dictates everything we do, from the ticking of the clock to the cycle of the seasons. Yet, philosophers have long argued that time is merely a mental construct, a way for us to categorize experiences that are, in essence, timeless. If we consider ancient philosophies, like those of the Eastern traditions, time is often seen not as a linear force, but as cyclical. The Hindu concept of Kalachakra, the wheel of time, tells us that time is a repeating cycle, endlessly flowing through birth, death, and rebirth. This perspective invites us to view time not as something that we are chained to, but something we are part of, a cycle, ever-changing, never truly linear. Modern science, too, challenges our conventional understanding of time. Albert Einstein's theory of relativity suggests that time is not absolute. It bends and stretches depending on gravity and the speed at which we travel. What this tells us is profound. Time is not a fixed, external reality, but a fluid, subjective experience that can vary depending on the conditions in which we find ourselves. So, if time isn't fixed, what does it mean for us? Is it just a shared illusion that helps us make sense of the world? Does it truly exist in some deeper sense? And if time is subjective, then perhaps it is our own minds that are more powerful than we ever imagined. Our minds are incredibly powerful. They not only process the world around us, but also shape the way we experience it. When it comes to time, our minds create a linear experience, segmenting our existence into past, present, and future. This is essential for how we function day to day, but it also shapes how we understand our own reality. Philosopher Immanuel Kant famously argued that time is not something that exists independently in the world, but rather is a construct of the mind, a framework we impose upon our experiences to make sense of them. In his work, Critique of Pure Reason, Kant wrote that we do not experience time as an external object, but as an inherent part of how we perceive the world. Think about this. When you look back at a moment from the past, your mind creates a narrative. It turns your memories into a story, placing them in chronological order. Your brain works tirelessly to build a sense of continuity. Without time, our very sense of identity and self-awareness might dissolve. We need time to understand who we are, where we have been, and where we're going. But what if the past, present, and future are just constructs of the mind? What if time isn't as fixed as we think, but is simply a tool for our conscious minds to navigate the complexities of existence? The world of quantum physics offers some of the most radical ideas about time. When we zoom down to the level of subatomic particles, the conventional rules of time break down entirely. According to quantum mechanics, particles can exist in multiple states at once, what we call superposition. In this world, time itself seems to lose its grip. Consider Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment in quantum physics that proposes a cat in a box can be both alive and dead at the same time, until we observe it. This paradox illustrates that in the quantum realm, events don't follow the simple linear trajectory we expect from the macroscopic world. Instead, they exist in multiple possibilities simultaneously. This brings us to an astonishing idea. In the quantum world, the past, present, and future may not be as separate and distinct as we think. Could it be that all moments exist simultaneously, and it is our perception of time that causes us to see them in sequence? Could time, at its most fundamental level, be a much more fluid and interconnected experience than we realize. The philosopher Martin Heidegger pointed out that time isn't merely something that ticks away, it's deeply tied to our sense of being. To Heidegger, time is how we experience our existence, and that existence is inextricably linked to our awareness of the past and our anticipation of the future. This suggests that the experience of time is not just about measuring moments, but about how we live and understand our own essence. A profound part of our experience of time is the future, the anticipation of what is to come. From an early age, we are taught to plan, to look ahead, and to fear the uncertainties that lie ahead. Our worries, anxieties, and goals are often projections of future events. But what if this future is nothing more than a mental construct, a projection of our desires, fears, and anxieties? Friedrich Nietzsche explored the concept of time in a way that challenges our conventional understanding. He argued that the future is an illusion we use to avoid confronting the present moment. The future, in this sense, is not real. It is something we project from our current desires and anxieties. When we obsess over the future, we unknowingly give up our power in the present moment. Time becomes something we race against, an endless horizon that we can never quite reach. But Nietzsche's philosophy teaches us that the only time that truly exists is now. The future is a shadow, an illusion, one that distracts us from the eternal present. By focusing on the present, we free ourselves from the illusion of time. As Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Zen master, said, "The future is an illusion. We can only live in the present moment." If time is merely an illusion, what would it mean to live beyond it? What would life be like if we embraced the timeless present? Philosophers from various traditions have suggested that the key to transcending time lies in mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in each moment. The idea of the eternal now is not new. In fact, the idea appears in numerous philosophical and spiritual traditions. Buddhism, for instance, teaches that true liberation comes when we stop clinging to the past and stop projecting into the future. Instead, we must be fully immersed in the now, the only time that truly exists. Similarly, Ralph Waldo Emerson, the American philosopher, believed that the present moment is all we need to experience the fullness of life. In his essay, Self-Reliance, he writes, "Time is a great teacher, but unfortunately it kills all its pupils. To live beyond time is to transcend the constant ticking of the clock, to embrace the freedom of the present moment. When we step outside the confines of time, we align with a deeper understanding of existence, one where our awareness expands beyond the limits of the temporal." The illusion of time is more than just a philosophical concept. It is a way of living, a lens through which we perceive the world. But if time is an illusion, then what does that mean for us? It means we have the power to reshape our reality. We can transcend the worries of the future and the regrets of the past. By embracing the present, we align with the eternal now, where true freedom exists. Time is a tool, a creation of the mind that serves to structure our lives. Yet we must remember, it does not control us. By questioning its existence and exploring its deeper meaning, we unlock the potential to live more fully, more consciously, and more freely. So, the next time you feel the weight of time pressing upon you, ask yourself, what if time isn't real? What if the only moment that matters is this one?